What is going on, community? What is going on, people of Earth? I am TJ, aka Flash by Nights, and today I want to talk about my experience at heroescon 2024. So this is part one of a two-part video I'm going to do on my experience at heroescon, who I met, what I picked up, what I got signed, all of those good things. One thing I will say is that I intended for this to be like a vlog style video with me capturing video footage here and there, kind of going through my experience. I found out that I am not that great and not that well equipped for that just yet. We're going to try to do better in the future, but now I'm just going to tell you what happened, what went down, and how great of a time I had while I was there. So I know I've told this story 100 times, but I meant to leave Alabama, at about 12 o'clock, get there in time to grab me a room, hang out with the community as they were having dinner and drinks and things like that Friday night, and then spend Saturday at the con doing con things. And of course, life and Atlanta traffic said, no, your plans are on hold. So I ended up just making the con on Saturday, but it's okay. I met plenty of community members. We'll talk about those during the video. I don't want to try to single people out because I'm going to start forgetting people, and I don't want to forget anyone on purpose. I will say that the first face I ran into was Digger Jim, and he kind of helped me find the ticket booths, get on my way. I told him I'd see him again on the con floor. I did not see him again on the con floor. I did do a live stream with him and Ben Parker Comics Tuesday night, so you can go check that out. But let's talk about how the day went. When I went in, the first place I headed to was to find Ralph Macchio's booth. He was not there first thing in the morning, but I did catch up with him later, and we're going to talk about that in part two. But while looking for Ralph Macchio, no, not the Karate Kid, the writer, I ran into Brian LCS, and I got the Brian LCS welcome package. So you got a bookmark, comic book community award sticker, Brian LCS coaster. Also, let me go ahead and put that QR code up here. If you do not know what these the CBC awards are, go ahead and scan that QR code. Go find them on Instagram. It's kind of an award show that's more for fun than anything, for the comic book community and different categories and different size channels. You should check that out. And then I and Brian LCS ran into Freaky Louie trying to get signatures and photos with John Romita Jr. And Freaky Louie came with the most elaborate plan I've ever seen at a con. I'll throw a picture up of what Freaky Louie came to the con with. It was so great. And then after that, I went over and I found the Comics Curing Cancer booth. If you do not know about Comics Curing Cancer, it's basically a community effort to help fight cancer along with the American Cancer Society. And anything you see them sell, let's put that QR code up there also. Anything you see them sell, whether it's books, art, the Comics Curing Cancer mug that I purchased, or any other Comics Curing Cancer activity, 100% of the proceeds go towards Comics Curing Cancer and goes directly to the American Cancer Society. And when I was at that booth, Mark from Legion of Comics, of course, he, DJ Links, and Rob Fatstacks kind of run or spearhead that whole project. And Mark from Legion of Comics made a comment that people or community members are coming to the booth and probably come over there every hour. And I thought it was just an offhanded comment until I found myself coming to the booth like once every hour or so, just automatically. It was funny. But other community members I ran into, Geek Out with Roscoe. I ran into him late, but it was great to meet Roscoe. Of course, the Comic Vet. If you want to check out his channel, he has done a vlog correctly. And of course, his LCS, Retro Rocket Comics. I think they are in or close to Toronto, Canada. If you happen to find my channel and not know about them, you can check them out. If you don't live in Toronto or in the Toronto area, they package books, ship books all the time if you are somewhere in Canada but not close enough to get there. Check them out. And last but not least, at least for the stickers I ran into Nick Comic Culture. And I ran into plenty of other community members, whether or not I have stickers. The community was great to meet out there. Everybody was nice. Everybody was fun to hang out with. There's an old saying that you should never meet your heroes,
but they are who we thought they were.
So let's get into what we came to get into, which are things I either picked up or got signed at heroescon. First thing I have, you know what this is. So I ran into Chris the Comic Vet. I said that earlier. But Chris had some DC 4-packs on him, and he was kind of just giving them away to community members to open up on their channel. And so I'm going to honor it and open it up on my channel. There's one interesting book in here I can see already by the sides of it, but I'll let you see it when we open it up. So the first book we have, you saw it on the front. We have Nubia and the Amazons, issue number 1. Next book we have from Dark Knight's Metal, Rise of the New God. I think this was like a blend of Perpetua and the Batman Who Laughs. Or not Batman Who... Yeah, Batman Who Laughs. There we go. I'm not sure of that, but I think that's what happened. Next book we have is Batman 3 Jokers, issue number 3. And last but not least, we have issue number 2 of a pretty good Maxi series, Dark Knights of Steel, issue number 2. So the first signature I'm going to show is Chuck Brown. I got him to sign issue number 1 of the Black Manta miniseries. If you can see the signature over here. And then we're going to jump over to Chuck Brown and Brian Stelfreeze on Bitterroot, issue number 8, this Purple Rain variant. And so while I was talking to Chuck Brown and Brian Stelfreeze, I got the book from Chuck Brown, but I was talking to both of them, and I told them that I had gotten the issue 8 of Bitterroot because of the Purple Rain cover. But people since then, like Jay from Evolutionary Comics, go check him out, told me that Bitterroot is also a great story in itself, and I should read it sometime. And so I grabbed the first trade of Bitterroot, and on the inside, Chuck Brown and Brian Stelfreeze signed it. Not Brian Stelfreeze, Sanford Green. I have Brian Stelfreeze in the brain because I missed him. But when talking to Sanford Green, he told me that once I read this, I won't want to put it down and I won't want to stop. So we're going to try to read the first trade of Bitterroot sometime in the near future, and we'll talk about it. And the last book from Sanford Green that I got signed, I bet you can guess what it is. We have Doom issue number 1 from this year, maybe a couple of months ago, maybe just a month ago. It hadn't been that long. But we got the Adi Granov cover with the Sanford Green signature. The next set of books I got signed by David Finch. He and Sanford Green both had incredibly long lines. Actually, the lines weren't that long, but because the fans, they want to talk, they want to have conversations, and people like Finch are doing signatures and remarks and probably small sketches. The lines didn't move very fast, but it's okay. We got through it. And the first book I had Finch to sign is this Moon Knight number 9 or 8? Number 9. With the Punisher on the front. Of course, we see the Finch signature. You can tell the books he sees really often because he knows exactly what color he wants to use and exactly where he wants to put the signature, where it stands out. And this is really, really great. I will say this issue is already spoken for. It is going to Alan, the Comic Viking. But yeah, great book, great signature placement. Next book I have is Moon Knight issue number 6. It is the Bloody Knuckle variant. Again, he knows exactly what color he wants to use, where he wants to put the signature. I think this was a 1 in 10 from the original cover. The original cover is just like this, but without the blood. But once I knew he was signing, I knew this was a book I had to have signed by Finch. And last book we have signed by Finch is Justice League issue number 1. With the Iwo Jima Monument homage on the front. And I had to talk him into putting Semper Fi on the front of the cover. Of course, for those who know, Semper Fi or Semper Fidelis is the motto of the Marine Corps. It is Latin for always faithful. And so I knew I wanted Semper Fi to be on the front of this cover. I explained it to him. I made sure that he spelled it right. I think he was a little nervous about putting something that he had never written before on the book, so I walked him through it. Everything turned out fine. In fact, everything turned out perfect. And the last book we have is actually a sketch cover done by a member of the comic book community, Izzyverse NYC. I expressed interest in having him do a cover for me, but then when we got to the con, I threw a couple of curveballs. I asked him, could he do 2 characters? And these characters are unrelated to each other, but I really wanted both of them on a cover. So we talked it out. We came up with a price, and he did amazing work on Justice Ducks issue number 1 from the Darkwing Duck series, where he gave me Moon Knight and Darkwing Duck. This was amazing work. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I couldn't have asked it to turn out better, and I assure you, this will not be the last sketch cover that I grab from Izzyverse NYC. And that was part 1 of my heroescon experience. Come back for part 2 and a special version of Transformers Thursday, because part 2 is going to be transformative. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you like. If you did enjoy yourself, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with me, going to another con, maybe, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Of course, feel free to leave comments. And as we always do at this time, love yourself, love others, check out Heroes 2025, and I will be back in a flash.